Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the fascinating science of liver health to separate fact from fiction. We're going to break down how your body actually processes fuel, what's really driving fatty liver, and how we urgently need to rethink our approach to healing it.
But before we even start talking about specific foods, we really have to ask ourselves a fundamental question. Can popping a supposed superfood, some exotic berry or a trendy supplement, truly undo years of metabolic damage? Let's see if that actually holds up.
To really understand the stakes here, we have to look at the sheer workload of this vital organ. Your liver handles over 500 essential functions every single day. It's literally your body's primary defense for clearing out toxins. It used to be that almost all cases of fatty liver were caused by heavy alcohol use. But today, if a liver is congested, it's overwhelmingly likely to be tied to the food we put on our plates.
So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. True causes of overwhelm. 2. The biotransformation secret. 3. The superfood illusion. And 4. Ranking the top foods. Let's dive in. Okay, Section 1. True causes of overwhelm. The liver really gets congested and overwhelmed when it's burdened by substances that only it can process. Think about it. If every cell in your body can help process a substance, the burden is shared. But things like alcohol, environmental toxins, and fructose, those fall squarely on the liver's shoulders. Fructose actually makes up 50% of common white sugar. And honestly, your liver doesn't care whether that fructose comes from a piece of candy or a massive bowl of sweet fruit. It still has to process the whole shebang. And this overwhelm is then severely aggravated by high insulin levels. Insulin acts as a storage hormone, basically locking the fat inside the organ and preventing it from burning away.
Moving right along to Section 2, the biotransformation secret. You see, when people tell you that eating saturated fat gives you a fatty liver, they are completely ignoring biotransformation. This is this amazing biological process where a living organism takes the substance it consumes and fundamentally alters its chemical structure to store it or use it. We aren't just passive storage containers for the exact molecules we swallow, right?
I absolutely love asking this question because it immediately highlights the massive flaw in our standard dietary logic. Think about a cow. The meat and tissue of a cow are incredibly rich in saturated fat, but cows don't eat saturated fat. They eat grass.
And this brilliantly illustrates that just as cows biotransform grass into saturated fat, humans do not get fatty livers simply from eating saturated fat. In humans, that biotransformation happens when we consume excess dietary fuel, like all those sugars and starches we just talked about, combined with high levels of insulin. Your body takes that excess, converts it, and stores it as saturated fat right there in the liver. So the saturated fat in your liver didn't necessarily come from the saturated fat on your plate. It came from your body frantically dealing with too much fuel.
Which brings us to Section 3, the superfood illusion.
This is a really powerful analogy that shows exactly why the entire concept of a superfood is flawed if your system is still actively being compromised. Imagine a lake where all the fish are going belly up. Could you dump a barrel of antioxidants into the water and magically expect the fish to thrive? Absolutely not. Not if a pipe is still pumping toxic sludge into that water every single day.
So this completely exposes the limits of the allopathic model. That model tells us that if we have a symptom, we just take a remedy, like a pill or a so-called superfood, to just block the signal. But the dysfunction and damage are just allowed to continue in the background. Instead, we need to embrace the holistic model. This means addressing the root cause, providing what's genuinely missing, and crucially, removing the toxic interference so the liver can actually heal and function exactly the way it was designed to.
All right, Section 4, ranking the top foods. Let's see how everyday items stack up when we apply this root cause logic. Grouping foods 10 down through 5, we can instantly see that some really common recommendations just don't hold up. Whole grains, vegetable oils, soybeans, and oatmeal, they all get massive red marks here. Grains and oatmeal are almost pure starch that just rapidly break down into glucose, driving up the exact insulin we're trying to lower. Plus, along with soybeans, they can be huge triggers for inflammatory allergic reactions. Coffee comes in at number 6 as neutral. Totally fine to drink, but it lacks a biological mechanism to actively heal the organ. Walnuts hit number 5 with a green check due to their awesome low-carb, high-fat profile. Though again, they aren't some standalone magic cure.
Now hold on, we need to clarify something absolutely crucial regarding fats, specifically those vegetable oils we just ranked at number 9. It is vital to understand that not all unsaturated fats are created equal. Monounsaturated fats, like what you find in a good extra virgin olive oil, are incredibly stable and genuinely excellent for you.
However, you have got to actively avoid highly processed polyunsaturated fats, like commercial vegetable and seed oils. Because they're naturally unstable, they have to be harshly processed, bleached, and deodorized. That makes them highly oxidized and literally toxic to your liver. They're heavily marketed as heart-healthy, but honestly, they are incredibly damaging.
Coming in at number 4, we have omega-3s. These are the specific polyunsaturated fats we do need, but just in small micronutrient quantities. They are absolute game changers for reducing inflammation. But there's a major catch. An already damaged, insulin-resistant fatty liver cannot effectively convert plant-based omega-3s, like flax oil, into the essential EPA and DHA your body desperately needs. That makes marine sources, like a high-quality fish oil or whole fish, absolutely crucial if you're actively trying to heal.
Number 3 brings us to cruciferous greens. Think arugula, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage. These are fantastic because they aren't just empty calories, they contain these really specific chemical phytocompounds that directly assist your liver's own detoxification pathways. They are literally handing your liver the exact tools it needs to clean house. Just a quick aside though, if you're actively trying to reverse liver disease, you might want to limit rutabaga just because it's a root vegetable with a bit more starch.
Okay, moving to number 2. This one usually blows people's minds. Take a look at the fat profile of red meat. It is actually half monounsaturated fat. Yes, the exact same healthy fat found in olive oil, and half saturated fat. This completely destroys the myth that a steak is entirely made up of dangerous saturated fat.
Because it is incredibly stable, completely non-inflammatory, and highly nutrient-dense, meat, specifically beef, proudly takes our number 2 spot. It is arguably the least allergenic food available, which is exactly what you want for an inflamed system. But here's the real magic. Beef is a rich source of an amino acid called methionine. Your body takes this methionine and uses it to create glutathione. And glutathione is, unequivocally, your body's most powerful natural antioxidant.
Drumroll please, our absolute number 1 food for liver health is eggs, particularly high-quality pastured eggs. They take the top spot because they are practically a multivitamin wrapped in a shell. They contain a specific nutrient called choline, which acts as a powerful catalyst for burning off the fat trapped in the liver. Furthermore, they are packed with B vitamins like B6, B9, and B12. These specific vitamins actively help your body convert inflammatory, harmful substances in your blood into even more of that healing glutathione we just talked about. Plus, a good pastured egg gives you a complete supply of those essential EPA and DHA fatty acids. It's the total package.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. When it comes to your health, and especially your liver, are you merely hunting for a superfood to act as a band-aid? Will you continue dropping isolated vitamins into a toxic lake while still eating the sugars and processed oils that are causing the damage in the first place? Or will you use this knowledge to remove the interference, embrace nourishing, stable foods, and fundamentally address the system from the root cause up? The choice is entirely in your hands.